Welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. As the winds calmed today, firefighters got a little better hold on fires burning in and around Los Angeles. And the rest of us got a better look at just how devastating these fires have been these last few days. The Pacific Palisades is effectively gone. Hundreds and hundreds of homes. Look at all those empty lots. They have disappeared. Some of the most valuable real estate in the world has been turned to ashes in one of the best communities in Southern California. Look at these pictures. Look at the scale of that. All gone. House after house after house after house. As firefighters are now reporting that they were clearly understaffed in the face of this crisis and arrived to find fire hydrants that were dry soon after this all began. Many of these homes burned as firefighters stood and watched them burn. They were helpless. They had no water. The LA fires are becoming a story of California's staggering incompetence, beginning with fire hydrants that ran out of water almost immediately. The official response to that, the excuse, too much demand. The fires broke out on Tuesday, and by Tuesday night, most of the hydrants were dry. Their reservoirs totally used up. Gavin Newsom asked about this on CNN.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, it ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, and those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
Yeah. It's not local. Somebody else. Somebody else, but me. Not me. Anyone else. So the fire hydrants in popular areas and populated areas of California are not equipped to handle large fires. It's interesting because California is kind of known for having large fires and is just lucky that they don't usually happen in really heavily populated areas, but they did this time. That's the problem. But thinking ahead, planning for the future, averting a disaster in a populated area is not really part of the political equation for the radically left Democrat supermajority that runs the Golden State. There is nothing sexy about walking into the State House with a plan to improve LA's infrastructure and spend a huge chunk of money tethering the fire hydrants to an endless supply of water like the Pacific Ocean. What's sexy in California is equity and diversity and all of this idiocy that we see constantly coming out of California. Lesbian minority firefighters, that's hot. Infrastructure, wildfires, water, boring, who cares? They did that 50 years ago. Those pipes still work. The entire state is now captured by fringe ideologies that are popular in places like UC Berkeley. Take a listen to LA's assistant fire chief. This is a real video.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Also, now we're blaming people that have smoke inhalation and need to be carried out of a fire. That's a brilliant video, by the way. Not one person in the history of the world has ever cared about the color of the person who is saving them in an emergency. It has never happened in the history of the world. But in California, it has become a top priority. From NPR, firefighting is mostly white and male. The California program aims to change that. 2 facts we've uncovered this week. It's apparently almost impossible for a white guy to be a firefighter in LA, and there's not enough firefighters in LA. I wonder if they're connected. The cancer of woke is thriving, and its tenets have replaced those of any kind of responsible governance in California. Every year, California's residents and businesses send $220 billion to Sacramento. That is an ungodly sum of money. The largest state budget in our country. And for that, they get back very little in return. They can't even keep their houses from burning down. Rather than focus on the basic fundamentals of running a society like roads and public safety, much of that gets burned on more attractive left-wing projects that state leaders can proudly discuss at dinner parties in San Francisco. Equity, diversity, and of course the homeless. who are now getting high-rise condos in downtown LA. Condos for the crackheads in a state that has no water and can't handle a large fire. Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson talked about this earlier today.
How crazy it is that they spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what did they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Not zip.
Zip. And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything.
Life in California. 10 years ago, the state approved a massive bond measures, almost $8 billion. $8 billion. You can do a lot with water with $8 billion. To finally end the very frequent water crises in California. I lived there for a few years. Oh, you got to take a 3-minute shower and your yard is dead. Welcome to California. You can't do anything about it. From the LA Times last year on that measure from 10 years ago, California voters approved a ballyhooed $7.5 billion bond issue 8+ years ago, thinking the state would build dams and other vital water facilities. But it hasn't built zilch. True or false? That's the rap. The voters were taken. The state can't get its act together. That was written by the LA Times, the very left-wing LA Times, admitting, 10 years, $8 billion, still no water, still dead grass every fall and winter. Don't take a long shower. It's fairly obvious at this point that the left cannot run a sophisticated society. The wealthiest state in our country can't figure out water, paralyzed by regulations and a general disinterest in basic infrastructure needs because it's just not interesting to these people. These are weirdos from college campuses. They don't care about water and life and basic things like that. They care about whatever the hell it is they learned at their weirdo college campus. But LA's mayor, fresh from a very sleazy trip to Ghana, had to rush back to get here in time to catch the end of the fires. Well, she does offer more of those same empty platitudes that we always hear after a disaster that she exacerbated.
Los Angeles will rebuild stronger than ever. Los Angeles, together is how we will get through this. Through the heroism of our firefighters, the vigilance of Angelenos, and the spirit of our city.
Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.